Morning, hey. Morning, Mr. Murray. Yes, it's just as usual. You can hear me okay. Just going to wait a couple of minutes to get started. Morning, morning, morning. Okay, yeah, 9:30. Yeah, let's get started. Good morning, everybody. The new names on there. Just a second. People in. There's a few new names on there. Right. Basics, just so for the new guys. What we have here is a forum where we interact, whether it be verbally on the, obviously, I've muted everybody so you can interact verbally. If you want a back chat, which has got nothing to do with the trading room, I'll clearly mute you, mute all of you, and then unmute later on if someone wants to add, because people forget that, they're unmuted and the background noise can interfere. What clearly, as you can see, you can post on the chat line. To have that chat line handy, this is very much an interaction area. What the idea behind what I'm saying is, it's a trading room, not a training room per se. Having said that, anyone want to discuss a strategy or what those funny little colored lines are on the chart or something like that, I have no problem with that. So I'll step Marius in here. Just those guys in, yeah. So yeah, if I talk about DXY, I'm not sure, I can copy and paste it for you on the chat line. Basics on the fundamentals, we can discuss that sort of area and of course clarify. You've been to a couple of classes or you've done a couple of things and you've read a couple of things and sort of half makes sense, could just need clarification. no problem. That's what this is all about. It's not about going into showing you how to place a trade or the different indicators that are for the. Just again, trying to, because a lot of people are getting confused. It's going to start off. It's going to be fairly quiet today with non-funds coming up. Not to conflate the three companies. One of them is Stock Market College. They purely sell educational packages. There's another company I work for called Quick Trade, and we are the brokers. It's going to mute on that. Do a bit of noise in the background. Just give me a second. And then there's the platform, which is called the MetaTrade or MT5 platform. Right. That is a platform where brokers, a lot of brokers, we being one of them, join in. If there's a problem with the platform, it's not Quick Trade's fault. It's the problem that needs to be sorted out, and obviously they'll be immediately notified. If it's a problem with Stock Market College, you need to go to your Stock Market College guys. If it's to do with trading, per se, as in, just coming in here. There we are. Anything to do with trading, then you'll come to myself. I have to reiterate again, you have an account manager. These guys will assist you on opening accounts and other areas which are basically intermediary or admin areas. They can't offer advice. To offer advice, you need to be a representative and qualified and regulated by the Financial Service Conduct Authority, or FSCA for short. So, yeah, if you have problems opening a demo or a live account or something like that, you have an account manager. It's on the portal. You can go to that person. If you need trading advice or anything like that, you need to come to me. So I just want to clarify those. Quite a few names, new names on here. They're getting a bit confused. So, John, sure. All suddenly joining once, good. Yeah, so just make that clear. Okay, are we all clear on that? So just say you know the difference in the companies and who to go to what. If you're obviously not sure, you can't remember, and you do have my WhatsApp, of course, I have absolutely no problem you giving me a WhatsApp and saying, by the way, I've got a problem with this. If I can handle it, clearly I will. If I can't, I'll obviously point you in the right direction. Okay, so we're all on this side. I hope we're all on each other's side, because sometimes it gets confusing, especially when you start for these companies. Well, there's three of them, like Quick Trade, Stock Market College, MetaTrade, MetaTrader 5, the platform, three separate companies, and then there's the portal. The portal is just put together by Quick Trade for your own assistance. So you can contact your account manager, you can open an account, and you can see other various bits of information there, etc. So yeah, I hope that's sort of clear. Right, this is very much, as say, a forum where we need to interact. And I'm going to be quite honest with you, I get a lot of ideas myself from this. I miss something, somebody else in your trade will pick it up. Have you looked at the weekly or the daily? Did you know the PMI is coming out in 5 minutes' time? Oh, I'd forgotten about that, or whatever. So we try and assist each other. But it is vital we interact to learn, because clearly, if you don't know something, you've got to say, run that by me again, or and I'll clarify. No good just sitting there wondering what the hell we're talking about. We're going on about dollar strength or whatever jargon we're using. Just need clarification and move in. And if you don't, you will get sort of left behind by the people more confident who are actually trading. And then, you know, I don't want to just focus particularly on them per se, but if they put their hand up, I will do. So it's up to you to overcome your shyness and interact and ask. And often when you do that, you're asking questions the other guys are frightened to ask, and I can address it to all, because I assumed you knew, or I'd forgotten because I'm doing it every day, that it's not obvious when you start. You sometimes forget when you first start driving a car, it's not automatic to change gear, and you forget some people are doing it for the first time. So help me to help you. That's the slogan. Help me to help you. If I don't know, those who know me, I'm pretty honest, to start off to my detriment, where I can be too honest sometimes, but if I don't know, I'll say so. And quite frankly, it might be Zeph there, or Brady, or Farney, or Antony, or Anne-Marie. There's quite a few guys come here regularly and learn quite a bit, and they'll point that out. So we're all trying to help each other. Okay. Yeah, I like that, Zeph, in the restroom. Yeah. Oh, we're all clear on that. don't forget, you've got a chat line. You just ask if not sure, and I'll just point it out. And it doesn't take long. I try and take some of the mystique out, and so we understand a little bit more. Okay, I just want to just sort an article came up by some American guy. I just want to read it out to you. I suppose we're all human. Points out a little bit what I believe in as well. But it's nice to have a third party point that out. Just give me a second while I read it out. While the daily close in New York was higher and seemingly reassuring, in fact, the market had been a lot higher and SAB rejected an extended intraday peak. Such price action is often indicative of a reversal moment. One swallow less does not a winter make, but it's difficult to see how the market could be any more excited has been over the past 24 hours. This impressive acceleration came on top of an already historic January. Even if still a bull market, it must be getting tired. Price action on the day, even with that higher close, did suggest this. Okay, what I'm trying to put together with all that is the fact that we're getting excited because we naturally see a bull rather than a bear. We naturally see buy long rather than sell short. We naturally, in our minds, since the day we're born, we think buy to go up, then sell. The downside is difficult for us to sort of assimilate. It goes against our sort of natural grain. And so we get any news thinking to that, we tend to react to it. Basically, it is just a bit of an excitable bump in an overall recession. I don't know an article, it's a bit involved, but it points out whether in denial or not, we are in a worldwide, I'm not talking just South Africa, but worldwide in a recession, and particularly the United States. So it backs up my point is this: sure, you went short, you got stopped out, have your volumes right. It's a bit of a sudden jump up here. I personally, and these guys, do not think it's going to last. No one can predict the time when it's going to suddenly come in, where it's suddenly going to fall, but it's getting there. It's suddenly, you get a situation that comes off as a jump up, and that is usually the calm before the storm. And that I'm trying to put it in a way saying, do not be fooled by this bull breakout or this bull trap, as they say. I think this is overextended. We haven't got the fundamentals out there to support a bull market. There's too much debt, too many issues, too many problems, economically speaking, sustain another big bash up as yet. This is to me the, say the rise before the fall. Yeah. So don't be caught in thinking this is a bull. This is not. This is a jump in an overall bear market. So what's that mean? Well, if you've got equity and you've got all other things, you're a worried person because you could see a portfolio move down, which I think is going to happen. We have the advantage because we can make money in the down market by selling short. How the timing it, there's no such thing as a no-brainer. It can go up another few points or whatever before the overall comes in. I'm saying personally, this is giving us an opportunity to make sure to make use of the fact we can sell and make a profit on the way down. So maybe not today, but going into Monday, we can start looking at maybe selling the S&P. I'm not mentioning the NAS because most people can't afford the NAS, but if you can, the NAS as well, or even the Dow. The shares like the tech shares, etc., are overcooked, and the rise before the fall. I think we can have a pretty good time coming up with what I've just said to be borne in mind. Okay, we have had a little bit of pain the last few days of, in my opinion, a lot of emotional overreaction to some of those fundamentals. We must be on hope when there's not a lot of hope there. And that's an overreaction. It's a bit of a, not brilliantly put, but are we on the same page? Understand where I'm coming from? Okay, does it sort of make sense where I'm coming out? The calm before the storm, etc. Yeah, I want you to bear that in mind. We naturally latch onto the dream, the good news, because obviously it gives us a high, a bit of pleasure. We don't want to know the negative, but you can make some money out of the negative, so try and realize that it's a likelihood. Whether the S&P we got on the moment goes up another 50, 60 points, I don't know. Nobody does. But I'm thinking we're looking now to short this, maybe a wider stop for the noise. But when it comes, it's going to be profitable for the guys who are short the markets. It's going to be devastating for a lot of other people, I'm afraid to say. Okay. Okay, just be aware. Okay, good. Right, we've got a couple of trades out. Not sure they're doing too well. CHF JPY, there's a long. If you're not in it, I know it's non-farms today. I hope everyone knows what I mean by that. The major American jobs report up +3. Normally the company won't send out trade ideas because it can have quite an effect on the market, the world market, that is. The US jobs report, we're so heavily reliant on America for, well, you know, for trends and culture and money and goodness knows what else. And remember, Americans not manufacture, they're buyers of products that are manufactured. So they're an essential market. And so it does, what happens in the States affects the world. So we had them out, and I still think it's a buy. Maybe got in a bit early. Let's even say that after the event. But if you're in it, it hasn't hit the stop. It's down a little bit. I think we got in where now, 140.9. So yeah, it's a bit of pain there. But I'm not sure that that pain is going to continue. I do see upside on this one. So if you're in it, hold on. If you're not in it and you like the look of the trade, even though it is in the sell zone, it's below all of these three, I'm not sure that's going to be maintained. And if nothing else, ignoring everything else, it's a bit of a range trade. Maybe got it, as it turns out, maybe a little bit early, who knows, in retrospect. But I still see that can be some upside there. So if you didn't join it, you want to join it, the stop down here, the TP up there. Even on non-farm today, won't be sent out, but for the trading room, I think you could do worse than joining it. Okay. Thanks, MK. So obviously, it makes sense. Thank you for what I'm trying to say. Yeah, I just gave a bit of a, let's just see a bit clearer. 40.39, what have we got it at? 40, where is it? 140.45. Wow, did anybody get stopped out? Seemed quite a tight stop on there. Maybe we should have had it. Was anyone stopped out? We might have been stopped out. Bloody pity if you are, because if you are, I honestly think you can rejoin it with maybe a wider stop. Oh shit. Okay, sorry. I just noticed now. I do beg your pardon. Okay, well, I'm always reluctant to say, well, you're gone in revenge trade, going again, etc. But I'm going to stick my neck out. I still see upside on this one. But if you're still sore from the last one, stand aside. Remember, I'm checking out ideas, suggestions. I don't know 100%. Nobody does. I'm just putting my opinion. So you can't say, well, I took your trade. It's your fault. No, it ain't. I can give you advice, whether you take it or not. It's up to you. I'm not trying to throw in a disclaimer here. I'm just saying I do feel responsible, whether it's correctly or not. But I can only see what I see, and I personally think it's still upside. So if you haven't joined it, you want to, I think there's a possibility there. If you feel uncomfortable, I won't put the calculator on. Yes, you're quite right. And I just pass on to you, Zach. Okay, well, bottom line is, yeah, Euro GBP long. Well, we'll leave that. If you want to look at it again, you can. If some other guys want to look at a possible trade, let me know. We'll come back to it and put the calculator up. We're getting quite a few new names in here. So I'm just starting before we go on to GBP, JPY, Euro GBP. I always say the trade comes first. Whatever we're talking about, the trade system comes first. I'm going to go back on that, just making very quickly. See the position size calculator there. Everybody must have it. Sorry to repeat again and again and again. The old guys are sick of me telling you this, but the volumes and correct position sizing is more than vital for your trading journey, for your trading survival. If you do not have a disciplined form of risk evaluation, correct volumes, you'll get lucky one day, but the next day you can see your ass. This is a speculative market. It's a fast car that can give you wonderful pleasure, but dangerous in the wrong hands. So make sure your volumes are correct. Okay, just bear that in mind. Euro GBP, you're in a good profit, actually. Yeah. Euro GBP, does that mean you want even a good profit? Yeah, I think you had a buy. Remember, we discussed the euro came out and the GBP on interest rate decision the same day. So I was reluctant to go for it. ZEP is a trading Rambo, a marine of note, and decided, he looked at it, he thought the euro is going to be slightly stronger. To be honest, in retrospect, even though I can see the price now, I tended to agree with you, but I couldn't put it out to everybody because those interest rates and anything can happen, as you know. But I certainly would have been, what are you going short for? I did have to say, you had to go for the long. So I would be saying, yeah, I would agree to you anyway, but you're doing well. Now, the next question is, quite rightly, Zeph blames me, or quite rightly, Roger blames Zeph. So over to you, Zeph. Do you think guys should join it now? I personally have my opinion about that. Probably guess what it is, but I'm going to check it to you. Do you think it would be advisable to join that as a long at this particular price action, as you can see at the moment? Yeah, I personally agree with you. I think that ship has sailed. We all know what I mean, the ship has sailed. It means it's left. Too late to join. If you get a better price, what a pleasure. Buy it at 89.00 and it's 88.90. Don't put a buy stop in, for goodness sake. Go in at markets a better price. However, I think that ship has sailed, which basically means you missed the boat. It's accumulating now, it's at a bit of resistance. What's going to happen there? If you want to flick a coin, buy it or sell it. It's a 50-50 at the moment. So I would say, okay, anyway, well done. Well done. Good stuff. Okay, the US dollar ZAR, I want to point out to guys as well. Before you get cute and trying to trade this, remember it's formed exotic, and as thus it can be quite, in fact, extremely volatile at times. It's the ZAR, the currency itself is moved it's basically a small economy compared to the West and the East. So it can be moved around quite easily. There are extra costs involved. The spread is higher, a lot higher than the average major currencies. And the deposit or margin, and deposit margin, the amount that comes out in your account as a deposit to go onto the market is higher. So in other words, your deposit is higher than other currencies. So just bear in mind, this is not for people who start the trading journey and not for people even that have traded a bit before who have got small accounts. What I mean by a small account, I don't think people should trade the dollars anything below about 2.5, 3 grand in their account. Major reason is quite nothing to do with the risk, is the fact that 650, 660 or whatever is the margin. And if you've got a grand, most of your money now is in this particular instrument, and you can't trade elsewhere because you don't have enough free margin. You say, I've got 1,000 rand, I've got 300 left. No, you can't, because you've got to have free margin for what we call the noise, the up and the down. See the reds and the greens? The up and the down, we call that the noise. And if you don't, if let's say you go long, which I think is correct, and those who've taken it are doing okay at the moment, it might come off a little bit, but if you've got no free margin, you'll be what's called margin called. Example, you've got 1,000, you've got 990 on the market. If the market falls a little on your 3 or 4 open trades, 15, 20 rand, you've got minus free margin. Therefore, the company, the market maker, the bank, whoever is controlling the market maker, will immediately close your large position. Never mind your stop losses, to release a free margin back into your account. So always bear in mind, if you've got a small account, you have to overexpose by definition, and you have to have free margins. So you're extremely limited in what you can do. Always bear in mind, that's why people fight, scream, murder, whatever, for money. It's because it's very difficult without the stuff, the most sought after commodity on the planet, good old money, because it restricts you so much. I'm going to give an example. You've got 500 rand in your account and you want to go into a trade. Very few trades have a risk, maybe gold, not 0.01, a micro but most currency trades, forex trades, probably require something like maybe 100 rand or slightly more for a 0.01 as deposit margin to go in the market. Let's say it's 100 rand. 100 rand is 20% of 500 rand. Again, the problem with that is you've got no choice but overexposing. Now you've got John Bloggs there. He's got 100 grand into account. There's no ways he's going to put 20% or 20 grand risk on one trade. He's going to go for about 2, maybe 3% max. You see my point? So unfortunately, a smaller amount, by definition, you've got to overexpose. And the problem is if you've got a highly leveraged account, thank you very much for posting that. If you've got a highly leveraged account, you don't realize that because your highly leveraged means your deposit is smaller. Hope you're all with me on that. So you go in without realizing the implication. The majority of people having problems in this business is simply complete, utter lack of knowledge. They buy knowledge, but they don't read it or make use of it, and it's biting them, and they don't understand why, and they're getting frustrated. And I have to say, I feel for you. But if you don't have the knowledge, you don't have the right equipment, and you don't have the capital, you are hoping on a wing and a prayer. You've got to get those threes in order. It used to be the fire triangle. Forget what the third one is. You need fuel, you need oxygen, and I think you need a light or an initiator or something. The old fire triangle. Take one of them out, take the oxygen out, the fire goes out. Take the fuel, the fire goes out. I think the other one is anyway. So you've got to have those three. It's no good having a lot of money if you don't have the knowledge. It's no good having the knowledge if you haven't got the money. It's no good having knowledge and money if you don't have the equipment, the internet, and stability and all that. So this is not about an emotional, let's look at idea, I think I'll buy it or sell it. It needs strategy, time, effort. And sorry to go on, there's quite a few new guys in there. And what I'm trying to promote in here is where we learn the proper trading principles. Okay, not the hope and areas which a lot of people are working on. Okay. I think a lot of these. I think a lot of area after non-farm is going to be a situation. I think where we can start. Sorry, wrong one here. Start doing just that. I see downside on this one. I see downside in the euro dollar. I see some dollar strength creeping in. We're nowhere out of the woods yet. It's just because the sort of very slightly tiniest bit of dovish talk from the Fed has reduced the dollar. I think that's short term. I do not see we're going to get out of this problem without a lot of hassle. It's like ESCOM, basically, international ESCOM. We can talk and put in new chairmen, etc., but there's radical infrastructure problems with the world's economy, and so yeah, I've seen some dollar strength creeping in down the line. I think it's bottomed around the 100 mark on the DXY, and so yeah. Right, so next question is saying, well, it's all very well, Roger. You want me to enter now, tomorrow, next day? Can't answer that, as Zeph will damn well know, because he knows the score. Nobody can give an exact time. So overall picture, I do see some downside. So the next one to answer it, sorry, my friend. Yeah, we've got that way. Yeah, the answer is not going to be good. It could be whether it's good or not, it's interpretation, but it's above or below expected. I wouldn't worry too much about that. It's the emotional interpretation worldwide on those figures. And as we've had the last couple of days, when it's been exactly on all three interest rates, exactly as expected, look at the jumping around. Sometimes weaken the currency and sometimes strengthen, depending on the specific take. So because of that emotional area, which is completely unpredictable, even to many doctors in psychology will probably back me up on that. The human being psychology can feel very, very strange at times. I personally wouldn't try and get too cute with it today, but keep an eye on a possible dollar boost, maybe going into next week. Yeah, I think it's going to be some great. Personally, I'm putting my head on the block here and say I think they're going to get some pretty damn good opportunities next week after all this fundamental noise has been settled. Okay, I'm going on a little bit now, is because I'm not sure, well, unless you come up, I'll put it up, whatever you like us, we're going to get many brilliant trade ideas out. Is this jobs report hanging over our head? And I personally think it's even more important today than it has been last month or a month before. I think there's a lot psychologically hanging on this. Again, because we're desperately trying to hang on to the fact, can we kick this problem, worldwide economic debt problem, down rode a little bit longer. I'm not sure how much longer we can. It's coming back to bite. Okay. And you probably know in South Africa, as a classic example, is people living paycheck to paycheck. As I mentioned, horrified me. I mentioned to you, 93% of this country, as it came through when I looked into, earn less than 40 grand a month. And 40 grand a month gross is not enough to bring up a couple of kids, wife, family, house, car, etc. What we considered in the West the middle class life. The middle class are being squeezed through unbelievable lack of disposable income, and even to get through the month, they're having to increase their debt to survive. And yeah, it's bad here. It's pretty bad as well in the United States. You think that country was supposed to be rich? It's rich because of debt. It's artificial money. Okay. Okay, if you've got a wide stop, Zach, you often come up with pretty wide stops, so that's fair enough. If you can afford a wide stop, I don't know. Most people can't. I will give you an example. Let's go to the weekly. Let's put the stop up here, right out the way. That's 133 pips. That's fairly even. That's not too bad. Let's say you put it right up here, going back to June, which is 7 months ago. There we're going into 235 pips, which is about $23, which is going to the region about 400 rand, plus minus off the top of my head, a micro. A guy on 1,000 rand can't do that. Even on 2,000 rand can't do that, because the percentage of their balance is going to be too heavily overexposed in one particular area. Again, if you've got a reasonable sum in your account, whatever a reasonable sum is, you can say, I can do it with a longer stop. If you put a stop about 230, 250 pips away, I personally think it might take a bit of time, you'll come right. Okay. But we do, unfortunately, unlike overseas, have a predominant amount of traders, clients, whatever you might call them, is, I have to say, very small accounts. So we have to cater to them and realize that, yeah, we can't play around that kind of game. Hope that makes sense then. Euro NZD, we can just Google them. Yeah, of course, yeah. Euro NZD. Yeah, okay, if you want, go. Right, Euro NZD. So just reading the chat line there. Euro NZD. Something like missing, because I'm looking at the charts on speed. Remember, we've got two screens, and the chat line's on the other one. Euro NZD. Right. Well, to me, at first glance, that's a weekly, but I'll go to the daily. At first glance, remember what time frame do you use? It's a bit of an open-ended question now. Do you mean what time frame do I use for my strategy? It's the day. But often I mean, I've got into my first trade, how long am I going to be in there? Guys, no idea. The market will do what the market will do. There's millions of people trading, plenty variables, whether in 5 minutes, 5 hours, 5 days, 5 weeks, depends on the market. Okay, so that to me at the moment is virtually a halfway house I'm looking at the moment. So do I want to buy that? Not particularly. Do I want to sell it? Not particularly. So what are you looking for on this, Gerard? I see today's candle, indecision. It's 10 hours old, indecision. What do you want to do? Buy or sell it? I don't think I want to do either. Look at quick check of that chart. You want to go long. Right, you want to go long. Where's the TP? We're talking here 60 pips. Where do you want to put the stop? Down here. 90 pips. It's not going to work. So where to put a stop in down here, anything tighter than the range, I'm not sure I agree on. So you've got to look at least maybe 140. So we're going to look somewhere around about this line here. Somewhere around there is your TP. If you think it's going to break through the other side there, you can do a risk reward and you'll be able to get your risk reward ratio. Strongest at the moment, yeah. But I quite like New Zealand dollar as well. That's the problem. But bottom line is, do you see that being attained? Remember, only a couple of days ago, what's today, Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, it was attained. So if you believe you need to stop down here, so you need the TP to make it worthwhile, the RR basis up there. If you believe that, I'll put the R up for you. I'm gonna sit this one out. That's my personal take as the host, but it doesn't mean to say that I'm correct. Zef won the Euro GBP, and I sat it out. He did okay. So, do you want the RR on that? Does anybody want to join Gerard on it? I'll put the R up with pleasure. Would it be nice to interact? as well as newer guys to see their opinion, but particularly, obviously, more experienced guys, because they're experienced. I have to say, it's valid. Thanks. That's what I want. Interaction. So yeah, I've done that helping your cause there, Gerard, but I'll put it up with pleasure. But as I say, for the record, I'm not keen. If you want to put it up, just say so. But just bear in mind, I don't need to get a lot of support on it. Okay. You see, the thing is, Gerard, I've been doing it for a while. He's like Zeph. He's got his own mind. He's not going to be pushed around by me or anybody. Hey, put it down. Yeah, if you want to change the figures, I'm putting what I think. You can, with pleasure, have the change. You can put it probably up here somewhere. 169.82. You see that last number there, the fifth decimal point, ignore it. That's a point. We're after pips, not points. 10 pips, 1 point. Well, that's not going to work either. You need to stop down there. So you're going to have to put this up even further. Even further. Well, good luck, mate. You're going to watch it. Yeah, I think rather watch it. I can't say no, because funny things happen. We found out many times in trading. But I personally certainly advise you don't. No problem, Morris, of course not. Actually, just made me think that, made that joke about anyone who's late is going to trade NGAS for a month. Can I move on? Just knock that off. Anyone could go back to anyone says, I've stated my case. This NGAS is unreal. If you buy this TV off me, you get 2 tons of NGAS for free. How's that? Look at it. The problem is we're all making a joke. Well, I'm making a joke out of it. But looking back, we wouldn't have known that. We should have shorted it in retrospect. Hey, but I don't think we should have, because who on earth would know it would come down to these levels? Amazing, huh? Remember, February, it's still winter, and then they use up more heating in the Western Hemisphere, in the Northern Hemisphere in the West. Yeah, who would have guessed? I know we mentioned about Qatar supply coming on, but still. Amazing. And bloody real, you're right. Oh, sorry. Oh, let's move on. There's a couple of tech stocks. We'll start with Apple. You mentioned Google. We'll do with Apple. Have a look. Let's have a quick look at them. Good idea. Right. Again, I suggest, well, the non-farms will be coming out 3:30, 4:30. Remember, shares open 4:30, and she'll have that knowledge, but there might be still some jumping around. Remember, I'm doing a 3 to 4 o'clock show to show how we can do maybe a straddle trade on it. Only people invited who have got a couple of bucks. We don't want people coming in out of interest. There's only so many you can fit in. Who haven't got the money or the understanding, it's going to get in the way of people who do and want to do a trade on live, not demos, I might add. Okay, so yeah, it's in the buy zone. I don't think that's going to last. So look at that. I personally, maybe I'm going to be knocking off at 4 anyway. I'm not the trading, I mean the Zoom, which is before 4:30 anyway. You do what you like, but I'm just saying maybe wait till Monday to have a look at it, see how the jobs report comes out. But I think these are all going to be potential shorts. What else was keep an eye on Brent. Come back to Brent, by the way. It might be a little sort of buy. What was the other one? Google. That's right. Google. Oh, Amazon. Sorry. Yep, they've all just get the always click on the 4 on the day to make sure we're updating information. Big jump yesterday, right at support. Sell is the name of the game. We'll do that with pleasure in a moment. Just going to quickly go through this. Actually, I wonder if she'll come back to that. We've only opened later on anyway. So now we'll jump. Yeah, but mild or not, from 10 to $2, you know. Yeah. Anyway. Okay, let's jump that because this is open for the moment. AUDCHF. Yeah, let's just make sure information I mentioned that was there. Yeah, halfway house, indecision again. What do I think on this one? I think there might be a bit more downside. Are you in this, Marius, or do you want to go in? Oh, it's a long, but yeah, sure about a long, no. I think it could be a bit more downside personally, but I'm not enough to set resistance. Is it going to hold? As a case for going long, I get that, but I think it's a slightly stronger case for going short. Personally speaking, in my opinion, Marius and guys, even stronger case for an LIA on this. I'm not confident I'd buy or sell it. That's why I'm going to leave it. Yeah, as I mentioned on Tommy, I'm with you on that. But I'm not. I'm more confident in the fact that I'm not going to go in either way. You'll find, guys, all these on the what they call this the market watch. I call the watch list. All that on the watch list. There are going to be times where you can't find one trade, amazing head. Most of the time, it's past the next. Okay, Ken, great to have you back. Hope to see you again next week. No, that's fine. At least there's a very low volume. Okay. I have to discuss your account, but yeah, I hear you. Yeah, okay, fair enough. Well, that's fair enough. It comes short, it becomes, sorry, not short, wrong word. It comes wrong, if that's right. Comes wrong, if that's right. If it doesn't work out for you, well, at least it's not going to be a train smash. Okay, yeah, and the other one was URAUD. Slightly dovish stance, slightly better economy in Europe, but still not great. So that's why we've had a little bit of a bump up on the euro. Is it going to last? Quite frankly, Australia is an excellent economy. But the problem is it's not big enough to control the world like China or America. So it can be buffeted around by other people's economies. You've got to watch that. But otherwise, intrinsically, it's a pretty good economy. So it's half a dozen one, 6 on the other on this one. Again, look at the indecision as a result. Pretty even Stevens, these two at the moment. The seesaw is pretty well balanced, and you can see that in the indecision. I'm not strong enough belief to go up or down on this one. I'm sorry, my friend, Marius, I'd leave it. Okay, I would continue to, if you like, watching it rather than getting in there. I'm not talking about non-farms, anything like that. I'm just saying personally, the fundamental reason I gave and what I can see of the buyers and sellers, which the chart represents, I don't see a direction strong enough to me to commit money to it. Okay. I think it's going to be a lot of that. Just bear with me. I think it's going to be quite a large NIAs today, I'm afraid. Okay, yeah, let's go back to the shares again. Amazon I mentioned. Go back to anything you want. Meta, yeah, that was because it had a what do you call a very good audit came out. That's why I'm kicking myself because finally we'll be going short. And you can remind me the audit's coming out. But it was sent this in the morning. I've forgotten. Yeah, as a result, I was so annoyed myself for getting that. And thank you finally reminding me. I forgot that we could have looked at a buy on that one. It would again be very speculative because the expectation of figures coming out is not a guarantee, but I think it could have been a decent risk to be taken. And as it turned out, in retrospect, it would have worked out nicely. Whether it's going to be sustained, I think that's been priced in the market. I see some down movement coming up. But we'll come to that in a minute. We'll go to Google first. All have big jumps on interest rate. Nothing happening interest rates all have a big jump. You know what I mean? Go figure. Will that be sustained? I don't care if it's in the buy zone or not, personally speaking. No, I see downside on this as well. Again, we'll look again on Monday. If you want to look at it on Harper's Floor today, you'll be on your own. There's no session today. You can take a look at it and take a possibility on short. going forward. But this stage, and this jobs report stuffed the whole system up, and it does done on a jump. I'm looking for when all the fundies are out of the way. Sure, this is no different. I'm just going through quickly. It's not can't do anything anyway, even if we wanted to, because obviously the share market's closed at the moment. Meta, look at that jump. Make sure the information is there. Yep, look at that jump. Let's go to the weekly. Not much. Keep forgetting on Meta. Remember, Meta used to be Facebook, and so I've lived amount of data on it. It's only been going support. Okay. Again, I think it's going to be a lot of profit taking. I think it's going to get a bit some consolidation, but overall, I'm seeing some downside kicking in here. Microsoft, as our go-to guys, done pretty well for us so far. At about 2 or 3 trades. One of them hit the TP, one got pretty, the other two got pretty close, but we made money anyway. Yeah, again, same story. Yeah, potential sell. Jot them all down. Remind me, Monday, we've got some potential sells on these ones. Okay. I think that's a lot. Even Netflix. I think it's getting this. Oh, look at this. Even that now, with all the others jumping, this didn't exactly jump, did it? Exhaustion, pullback territory. I know it's in the buy zone, but it's in the overvalued zone. All right, right down here, wherever the cross area pretend it is down here, it's in the sell zone, but it's sold. It's undervalued. So you can look at potential buyers. This one is clearly it's gone up without any form of respite whatsoever. What's that? 95 US dollars, about 25% since December, about a month and a half ago. Much, in fact, it looks like this steps over nearly 5.5 weeks ago. That is due for a pullback as well. So we're getting some, in my opinion, great opportunities to make up for some of the hassles we've had over the last couple of days of fundamentals coming out. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. People tend to, maybe a bit cruel to say like sheep, if you like, but they tend to go with the momentum. I've used this example before. I'll go back and again. Remember in COVID, there's a lot of flat thrown at Dischem for price gouging on masks, and it had a knock on their share price because it got bad publicity. But Clicks, who had nothing to do with it whatsoever, also came down on the back of that. You get the idea. So yeah, it tends to go in a momentum. Yeah. I mean, Netflix, unless it does unbelievably brilliantly well with some phenomenal figures coming out, that's a fundamental overcome it. Other than that, even if it's fairly strong, if the techs come off, the NASDAQ comes off, the Netflix will probably go with it. Okay. Okay, Karen, good to have you, and catch you Monday. Don't think you're going to miss much on the trading aspect. It's going to be quiet. We will not be sending trades out today because the jobs report coming out. I'm still smarting a little bit for where we've stuffed around the fundies because the reaction will be so strange. Okay. Always remember that. It's the emotional reaction to something which is completely strange. Okay. So be careful of that. Okay, yeah, so normally. So yeah, that's why I can clamber on some of it. I quite like the techs as well because they tend to move. You don't be stuck in something for 6 weeks, do you? You make a profit, frustrated. You want it to move, and they tend to move. Okay, that's about all on that. I just want to go to the NAS now on that subject of tech companies. Look away that right up there, and I didn't think that's going to be sustained. So a lot of the guys realized that and shorted it and it came off nicely. And it's come back to that 12.5 area. I don't think it's going to be broken today. Maybe after non-farms might do. I think it's going to consolidate around these levels, wait for the jobs report direction. Even if the jobs report come in favorably, I think it might have a jump, but I don't think it's going to be sustained. I personally think we're not going to see 13,000 above for a while, a long time yet. Coca-Cola, okay. Get a short there then. We're in the end all right after I've got stopped down. Yeah, it's a bit quiet. Now, it's on the text stop. You can see there, it's a bit quiet. My worry, I'm not looking at the details here. I'm just looking at the body here. We're only looking at maybe about 60 cents movement over the last week or so. Has it got enough momentum in your opinion, Zeph, to buy also? Let's say you're right, buy it. You know what I mean? I mean, if you do buy it, let's say you do buy it, where are you going to put your TP? Is it going to be there or is it going to be within the range? So you're going to say, right, I'll buy it with that 60. So where are you going to put your stop? Down here. I'm going to risk reward. Or you can say, right, I do believe it's going to get up there. I put my stop down there. You can get a risk reward, but if you've got enough Tom in your account to sit there for maybe a few weeks, it may or may not occur. That's your choice. But otherwise, doesn't exactly blow my hair back. I agree. I agree. No, from that point of view, absolutely. But is it enough risk reward? Unless you shoot a higher target, and it haven't really happened. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You know, nearly. Well, it's been over 2 weeks since it's actually had a bit of a move up there. Yeah. Are you still in? You must. If you're still in this one, Peter, you must be hopefully okay on it. Because I assume you shorted it. And it's just been that. I just think it's well, figuring out how to stick with your strategy as always, but to enter, if you could enter now, but you can't, it's not Marcus Paul. I just don't see enough momentum. And this is me personally, it's my emotion. I'm not that keen sitting around for something, whether I've got money or not, for a long time for it to do bugger all, basically. It's my person, I may be a bit impatient, but that certainly doesn't excite me, this. Well, you brought that up. I want you to ask you about that. I remember you WhatsApped me on that. We'll spend a moment or two on that. Before I just want to look at what he's got to say. Thank you. Remember you mentioned that, NK. I forgot about it. And say mention the trading room, then you got to just remind me. There's been a lot of people in my mind. Oh, US dollar yen. Yeah, check that before we move on. Yep. Okay, it's trundling along. Just hope Mom Farms doesn't stuff it up, but still otherwise good. So look. Okay, right. Okay, candles. Right. You can have, what do you call them now? Hammers, Morningstar, Dojis, what's that? Marabuzo, sounds great. All these candles, I don't know, whatever. What the candle is, all it to me, and it's very important, all of it tells you what the buyers and sellers are doing. What the momentum, who's in control? Are the buyers in control, the sellers in control, or the no directional, nobody's in control? That's when you get the no direction. Thanks, Peter. Excuse me, no direction. Let's have a look. The indecision candle, this one here. Don't call it what you bloody like. I call it indecision candle. Because nobody's in control. It goes up, the sellers come in. It goes down, the buyers come in. I like to look at the candle, making it clearer there by zooming out a bit. I like to look at to see who's in control. I did put early names, and part of the exams, you've got to remember these names, remember it, you pass the test, etc. That's all very well, you got the theory. It's all about putting to practice. Simplify it to this, because that's all it is really, is telling you what the buyers and sellers are doing. Is this a hammer or the other way around? I've forgotten now. All it's telling you is neither side is in control, or the buyers or the sellers are in control. Who's in control from here? The sellers are in control. Then the buyers are in control. Then the sellers are in control. Then a bit of indecision, and then it jumps, and then the sellers are in control. At the moment, neither in control. And even these kind of candles here, I think the handle's the other way around. I forget the name of it now. I'm used to them all, just don't use them anymore. I just use who's in control. Buyers, sellers are indecision. I'm getting older, I don't know. But yeah, so that's what I look at. And say you want to buy this, what's its KO? You decide you want to buy it. You don't, it's open, by the way. KO is open right at the moment, for example, and you like to buy it, you want to see, I need a confirmation candle. Do I look at the volatility of it? Yes, I do. You probably might use a 4-hour candle for lack of volatility. If it's the NAS, you might want to look at a 15-minute or an hour candle confirmation. So we're going to go to the 4-hour. At the moment, that looks like confirmation. So I think it's a good idea to enter it. Stop down here at 70 cents. We're going to take the TP up here. 90 cents doesn't work. Like to do it, can't get a risk reward, leave it alone. You get the idea. Let's go to the NAS, which is moving. To reiterate the point, you want to sell short the NAS, right? Never mind stop, but never mind resistance. We're going to short it. Let's have a look at an hour candle. Yep, we're getting momentum to the downside. 15-minute going momentum to the downside. Because it's volatility, you can use a shorter term candle. So you can't say, what do you use a confirmation? A daily, 4 hour, 1 hour, 15-minute. Depends on the quality of that specific instrument. Okay. So you are, Tony, looking at that. So, right. I see downside momentum, not just because of one candle. That's not good enough. That's just a confirmation. But I'm seeing downside. So let's go and do the trade. Where are you going to put your stop? This is where the problem exists. Go to the weekly. You need to, in my opinion, put it above 13,000 if you want to do this. You might squeeze that, but if you squeeze that, you might go a little bit further. So maybe around about that. If you put a stop there at 528 pips away, you're talking about $52 or 800 Rand per 0.01 or micro, which is fine if you can afford that to aim down here somewhere. And some guys say, I'm seeing downside. I don't know when the big fall is going to come. I want to be on board, and I can afford to be on board with a couple at the moment. I've got a very wide stop, and I'll sit it out till I personally think it's going to happen. But if you're limited in quantity of money, first of all, I suggest you don't touch the damn thing, or have to look there for more of a short-term perspective. The shorter the term, more difficult to predict. Okay. Anyway, going back to NK, you get the idea. The candle is just really for confirmation, see what the buyers and sellers are doing. You know you want to buy it, you know you want to sell it. Support resistance is number one. You know no fundamentals are coming up. So shall I just wait? Is it going to bounce off that support? Keep going long, by the way, or bounce off the support, the Fibonacci retracement? Let's just wait for a candle of a green of 15 minutes or an hour, whatever, to see the confirmation going. Okay. So yeah, I've got some of the names. You can remember if you like, but the more you remember the names, the more you get fascinated, the more you think, that's a morning star, an evening star. I'm going to go in on that basis. No, just a confirmation of what the buy and sellers are doing. Okay. All right. If you need more enlightenment, maybe some of the other guys can help, or I can repeat, but just get the overall picture. Again, sorry guys, I know I'm repeating myself ad nauseum here. Try and understand, market is just about buyers and sellers. We've got a very, very large retail market, which is based, especially quite amateurish in times, on their emotions, and that buyers and sellers can sometimes do strange things because emotion comes so much of it, especially when you start, okay? At all times, even now, we've been doing X amount of years, but especially when you start. Did Lockney come on? JKL, no, he didn't. He tried to join, he couldn't. Okay. It's a new guy, just WhatsApp this morning, tried to join in, just funded his account, and obviously he's had some problem with Wi-Fi. Okay. Yeah, learning materials. Sorry, I'm waffling on, just an overall picture. Learning is all good stuff, but remember, you've got to put it together in a practical aspect. Okay. Hordes and hordes of browse by analysis, an extreme amount of brilliant information. You don't know where you're coming or going. In the end, still got to make that decision, and it still can do daft things. And it's usually based, I have to say, because so many million people now are trading with, should we say, more emotion than actual rational knowledge, it can have some collectively it does have an effect sometimes on the price action, which can sometimes seem rather strange. Okay. All right, good. Okay, I've done a little bit more because we haven't really got any great trades at the moment to think up or go out on. And I do see quite a few new names in there. I might be jumping to conclusions they're fairly new in trading, but there might be new names, but they've been trading before for the last couple of years. If so, well, I'm sorry if I'm being boring you, which might seem pretty straightforward to you. You've been doing it for a while. But, you know, you guys just got to remember, we're here to help. We're on your side. and this is where you learn the practicality. And yeah, so just bear that in mind. All good. Any newer guys there saying I'm a little bit confused? What are you talking about? DXY, that's a good point. DXY, let's just do that. Good point. I'm going to put on here the dollar index. I want you who don't have it, obviously, to copy and paste it and save it in your browser and minimize it on your laptop when you're trading. Dollar index is very important. I'm also going to put on the economic fundamentals. I say every time. I've filtered it, maybe I've over-filtered it. You can always add to the economic calendar some other aspects if you think it's important, but rather keep it slightly filtered. Sorry, what I've done now, put the waiting on, guys, beg your pardon. Okay, I'm just going to do the economic calendar. Right, I can filter it and add to it, but I prefer it filtered slightly. You don't want hordes and hordes of information which is valueless to you, because the clutter will, not like, you know, we get so much junk email, delete until you delete the wrong one, because that's the one that's important. So trying to reduce the clutter, but you can, maybe, I think somewhere I left out the oil inventories for some reason, I don't know why, but anyway, you can play around with those two, keep it and save them. I'm also going to answer right now. I'm going to put my WhatsApp number on. Roger, trading support. Please WhatsApp. It's a hell of a busy here. I'm basically on my own, looking after quite a number of people. So I can't spend hours and hours chit-chatting, which much I might like to, because other guys are often waiting. So I'd rather keep it straight and on point. You know, say, hi, Roger, this is Joe Soap, real account number 123456. I've just loaded my accounts, and do you have any trades for me or whatever? In other words, you know, come to the point in a request and I'll answer as best I can. Now a few codicils on that one. I don't assist people on demo accounts. No broker does, number one. Big no-no in the broking business is people asking for advice on their demo account. No. If you want to open a demo account, you don't have it, go to account manager, please, not to me. I can only deal with live. Number two, I'm trying to be polite, but I don't deal with accounts below 500 Rand, because I'm going to be quite horribly honest with you, you're wasting your time. You can if you like, but I don't want to waste mine. You're underfunded, undercapitalized. It's like going house hunting with 100 grand. Not many houses you can get for that, so you no. Okay, number two, I do have a VIP group, which basically means if you have a minimum of 2.5 grand, you'll be uploaded to it. Why? It's because you have less than that, you won't be able to cope with signals. So you're going to say, where are my signals today? Well, sometimes you're not going to get any. There aren't any there. You know, I've promised I'll get 5 a day. Well, I can send you 5 with pleasure. But if the pointless ones, guesswork, it's no point. Will they be wrong? Yes. Will they be right? Yes. So you have to make your own mind whether to take it or not. Have your stop loss, get your volumes correct. If it goes wrong, you can't blame me, can't blame the market, you like. But that's why I have a stop loss. Some of them do funny things. We do our best. But the point is, you might get on the VIP, in fact, sent to everybody. Let's say you do get guys some days, like hoping on Monday with the CFDs, etc. Possibilities, AUD, USD. We've got some possibilities there. You might get 5 or 6. Now you got $1 grand in your account. You can't take them all. You don't have enough margin. So what you do is you try and take them all. You've got a 500 to 1 leverage. You don't know the pros and cons of it. Because the deposit's so small, you do take them all. And that's just the example. All 5 are correct. Well, how come you don't make money? Because of the noise, the up and down going there, margin calls you. So what do? You got to pick one. Okay, Anthony, so I know I'm boring a lot of you guys who know the sport. Correction on Monday. I'm just trying to give a little bit of chit chat to newer guys to explain why. We're not leaving you out because you've got less money. It's because you won't be able to cope with the signals. You've got 4 coming and you can only afford to take 1. You say, Roger, which one should I take? Well, I have no idea. I'll send a good one out, 3 bad ones. I sit in that what I can, and you've got to pick one, and you might be unlucky to pick the wrong one. So just bear in mind, if you have 2.5 grand or more, just WhatsApp me, giving your details. Don't say, hi, this is George. That means nothing to me. Hi, this is Roger Holsworth, 126423. I've got, just please check, you'll see I've got over 2.5 grand in my account. Please add me to your VIP group. Brilliant. Quickly go to the number, check on the system, absolutely correct, and say thank you, and then away we go. Okay. If you haven't, don't say, I'd like to go on it, but please, I'm getting some money soon. Can you put me on now? No, when the money's in, I will. Okay. Because you'll try to trade, a lot of guys do, with not enough money, and you see your backside. Hope that makes sense. Remember the triangle: knowledge, equipment, and capital. Cut one of them out, you won't be able to trade. Sorry about that, because thanks, Tony. I see what that moves so long, and thanks, Ed, to see that. Okay, sorry, because there might be trades going on about that, because it's a perennial problem, like I said, is people are kicking up, getting frustrated, getting upset, simply because they don't have the understanding of what's going on, basically. And I'm trying to sort of clarify those areas. When a person sells something, like anything really matters, it's always the dream, you know. Unfortunately, reality is not always one and the same. So let's get professional and get a little bit realistic and put the grind in, put the effort in, and hopefully down the line come on it. Believe you me, it's worth you take the trouble. It's made an astronomical difference to my life. But it took a bit of grind to get there, but it's worth it. And if you can crack it, doesn't matter where you are in the world, what age you are, you've got yourself a job. And it's so portable. Laptop, Wi-Fi, away you go. Okay, right. Any questions on that? You haven't got the position size calculator? If you don't have it, get it. And then you go to live chat. I'm always assuming you've got a laptop. If you've got a phone and that's it, you're going to be limited trading. Phones are back up when you're on the road, away from the computer, to modify or close a position or enter a position quickly. Try and do strategy on that phone is, and if you can't afford a laptop, you've got a question whether you can afford the capital, etc. to take this on as a career. But the bottom line is get it on your laptop, and remember, for everything but shares. If you don't have shares, okay, Karaja, it's going to be closing up just now anyway. Refreshes the brain. Thank you for support on that. Just trying to help everyone, and it's actually quite right to say refresh the brain. Forget these little basics down the line. Okay, Karaja, no, you're going to score. Anybody? We're not going to do many trades coming up, so if there's other stuff to do, no problem. We're just going over the refreshing area, try and help reinforce, as you say, Anna Marie, and try and get the picture of it from the newer guys. Have your volumes. You have on your NMS and the Stock Market College login. If you bought the course, you'll have the risk calculator for CFDs and Excel, but everything else positioned and calculated on your laptop. You must have it. Okay. And one other thing before I forget, trying to do every time, if you got the chart set up, don't forget, right click, go to templates and save it. Save the template. If you lose your charts, I'm going to lose my charts now. I'll give you an example. Somebody press a button, something goes wrong. You lose your chart. Now what do? Try and go on the live chat. The guys are busy. You can't go. You're frustrated. You get upset. Well, all you do then is you go right click, templates, go to the one. I've got 7, you can see there, on the one you like, and you're back in business. Okay. If you want to set it up differently or a new system, you save this one, you want to put another indicator or something, save that as well. Right click, go to properties, change what you want, or go to indicators, put what you want, and then save it again. And you'll have a situation there where you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 saved ones. So you can save different ones. Okay. Okay, Anne-Marie. Okay, Henny. So I'm boring a few people there. We haven't any trades, but I'm trying to get people to get on board with the understanding. It'll save you a lot of heartache down the line. And don't forget, keep free margin. If you don't, you will be margin called. You've got to have free margin. If you want to know what the deposit or contract value is, you left click on the instrument, you right click on the instrument, and then you left click on specification. It gives the information there. Okay. Go through it, make sure you understand it. Tools are there, you've got to look into it. Sorry to dissuade you from the idea that you get your phone, get a trading idea, bang it in off to the beach, and the money pours in. No, it's not quite as simple as that. Otherwise, everybody would be doing it, be no unemployment. Okay, and nobody's trying to fill you. And that's not quite true. We've all got our price, but it ain't $100 or two, you know what I mean? So if you think we're trying to scam for a couple hundred rand, no, it's not worth it. Just a second. Just share that with you. So that's at first. Definitely at first. I just knocked on the door there. How can I help you? And if you heard the conversation in the background, he's heard me all talk about Forex, etc., and he wants to get involved. So still on the Zoom now. Come back and chat later on. Interesting, eh? That's at first. Okay, Joseph. See you later. Right, I've done as I unfortunately often do an egg of a lot of talking. I suppose I should do a little bit of listening now. Any comments? Anything you want to ask? Just on the basics. You don't have to something complicated. Fair enough. But some of the basics there. Any questions what I've gone through to clarify, because I try to do proper trading principles in here. So yeah, we can unmute and chat. I think make sure you can chat. Yes, just you can chat if you like. Okay, Morris, see you later. Right. Anything you'd like to chat about, which you're just learning and you want to clarify what I'm being on about? So, you know, just to put it together in your head if you want to join in and ask. Remember, you've got to interact. If you're too scared to interact, you might be too scared to place a position. So I can only help you if you interact and ask. If you don't, I can't. Nothing? You're 100%? See you? Fair enough. Okay, right. Before we wrap it up, any other questions? Any other trades you want to look at? Anything you want to recap on? Wait for NFB, like we all are. The world is. Okay, fine. As long as you got that sort of quick thing, that's good. I should do that for your story, yeah. As long as NK, you sure you understand the candles, what the buyers and sellers are doing? Is that sort of clear? Don't have to overcomplicate more than that. Okay. It's hovering, but it's hovering, well, it's hovering okay. Stick with it. It's down from the trading signal, I get that, but it wasn't stopped out, thank goodness. It got pretty damn close, 3 pips from the stop. Bounced, it seems to be okay at the moment. I'm going to be horribly honest, anything could happen later on. You might get a jump either way or both ways, and whips or all sorts. So just hope we can come right on that. Okay. Okay, that's fine, but don't overcomplicate it. It's just about what the buy and sellers are doing. Okay, fair enough from Tomby. Otherwise, all good, happy, feeling getting somewhere. Yeah, there's a lot of theory. I mean, anything. You ask any professional, the amount of theory and stuff you had to learn to go through, that's why he's paid more. Or she's paid more, let's be fair. And then any new skill that's going to pay you money will not be learned in a few minutes, even if you're the greatest genius of all time. Everyone wants to play the piano like a concert pianist after an hour or two. No. But behind the scenes work, some of those guys make it look easy. You'd be surprised what they have to do. Okay, so let that run. I'm just trying to put the jobs report doesn't stuff the system up later on. Okay, I might have had some problem with your Wi-Fi. Longisi, you got it last. Longisi, you might have had some problem with Wi-Fi. I tried to join earlier on. Yeah, that was me. With WhatsApp you this morning. You're on my VIP group now. Sorry, we're just about to close up, but I got the impression you tried a couple of times to get in here, but I think you might have had some Wi-Fi problems your side. But welcome. Sorry you came last minute. All I can say is stick with us. We do our best. And we try to cover with proper integrity, proper trading principles, and understanding more and more as more you join in. Okay, so we have a chat line, as you can see on the screen there, which you can interact with. And it's like a forum where we interact and we try and help each other. Once you've got the basics of how to place a trade by doing platform trading, what a lot size is from the base of Forex and the difference in the share of CFD and the Forex. You got those and what the indices compared to commodities. Those basics you get in the classes. Come in here and then we can try and escalate the practical aspect. We do strategies here, we do trade ideas, and we all work together. But it's ongoing. Okay. So anyway, welcome to what I'm trying to say. Okay. Okay, I'm sorry, it's normally 11 o'clock, but I think we've run out unless anybody wants to ask any more questions. We're not going to do any trades because, as I say, the jobs report, the very most important fundamentals coming out after 3 today, comes out first Friday every month from the US, and most guys will be sort of sitting tight with sideways action, waiting for that release of the data after 3. Okay, you're probably aware of it, Longisa. If you're not, I'm telling you right now, 3 o'clock. Normally I don't have a session on Friday afternoon, but 3 o'clock till 4 o'clock, I'm doing a non-farm payroll session where we can look at doing what we call a straddle trade to try and hopefully make a couple of bucks out of it. So you do have more than 2.5. That's why in a VIP group. So if you want to join on this particular Zoom at 3 o'clock, please come along. If you haven't got the money or you're on a demo or whatever, please don't, because it's not going to be of much value to you because you won't be able to make use of it. Well, that's all this is, just non-agricultural, how many jobs have been added. Now, there's how many more people have got jobs in the American economy. And that gives indication through inflation and all other aspects of the economy. And the currency will react, and gold and the shares will react accordingly. And the indices, okay. I hope so, sorry, yeah. Okay, those who can make it. That's right, this is this meeting here. Just you know, if you want to join, absolutely. This is the same, I'm coming on at 3, or I'm just before 3, I'll obviously be opening up. And on this particular Zoom ID, yeah. But please, if you're on a demo or you've got a couple $100 account, it's not going to be of any value to you. So rather try and get capital in your account and increase your knowledge. Okay. 3 o'clock happens at 3:30, but I want at 3 o'clock just to prepare everyone to understand where I'm going to go with it until the release comes in. We also could look at a couple of trades that we've gone into before as well, just so we're prepared for the release at 3:30. Then we're a little bit longer to see how it reacts to it till 4 o'clock or thereabouts. Okay. Happy? Great. Great, Peter. See you later. Okay, yeah, fantastic. Okay, guys, righty. Well, catch those who can make it 3. Otherwise, see you 9:30 Monday. And hope we're going to get some, I shouldn't jump the gun, but I think we get some decent trades in with all this fundamental noise out of the way. Cheers, Fritz. Okay, see you this afternoon. Cheers, guys.
Cheers, Roger. Cheers all.
Cheers, Finey. Thanks very much. Hope to see you later.